Okay, so here it is, the poor man's pinning tray. What I've done is I've ordered the multi-pick because I don't have the patience to make a practice lock that and machine that out. I don't have the stuff. So I thought what I'll do is I'll take a Euro cylinder and I'll make a repinnable lock. So when I get the multi-pick, when that arrives, practice lock, I can put the pins in, pin it up, and then just sort of get the feel of it and how it's working, and then repin one of these accordingly and pick it that way because then you can't see through. So this is an old Viro which has got quite a complicated keyway, so it's a fun pick. And then of course the pinning tray, which has always been a problem. So yeah, let's just go over it quickly. All you need is a piece of wood, circular saw, and a router. Plenty of guys can do that. So what I found is obviously first you've got to pick the lock, get it out, get your plug out, get the pins out, get the springs out, and then you're going to find that. And the best way to tackle that, I know I've buggered up a few locks, is to just get a 2.5mm bit and mark it off there, and then just medium pressure, slow speed in there, and you'll feel it drilling out, and then you'll feel the cap of the plug crack loose, and then you can slowly get your drill bit out, and then you don't damage this whole whatever you call it, where your spring lies in, that's going to give you false feedback and that. So that's the best way to get it out. Then you want a 3.5mm again, just mark it with a bit of a marker here so you can see, and then hit it with a M4.7 tap again marked, and there you've got your practice lock. So these little grub screws available at most nut and bolt places, very cheap. It's a 0.7 thread, so make sure you get a tap that is the same thread as the plugs. So the idea with this is you've got a layout here where you can lay out your stuff. This is my lock dump, so you can drop it out there. You can see this one is pinned with straight pins, making it an easy pick, and they're all like that. And then you've got a selection of spool pins here, and you can even see one of them, where is that little bugger, is a serrated one. And yes, I cannot find it, but yep, there it is. There's a little serrated pin over there above the spool pin that's made this one. The Viro has them on obviously both sides. So it has 4 spools and a serrated pin, which has made it a very, very interesting pick. Then there's a separate spot to dump your key pins. And that's the idea. So basically you're going to take these all out, you're going to dump your lock out, and then you've got this little, this is just a piece of 2.4mm stainless steel TIG filler wire, which I use a lot to make tensioners and stuff out of. That is going to go in there just to hold the plug in place while you pin it up. And I mean, once you've got your first few pins in, you can take it out and continue, and then you can drop your key pin, your driver pin, and the spring in. So like I said, that's just for now to make a key. This, what we've got is a couple of spare keys. So just these are random keys. They fit the keyway. There's an Allen key for your grub screws, and here is a, so you can either line the key up here. It's not very accurately cut. I mean, like I just did it a bit in the garage. So you can try and pin your lock according to these keys, or what you can do is put your pins down. So you're going to place them in some kind of order. Let me learn to use tweezers. And you can take the blank keys and file it down according to whatever is there. So that's why I've got a little piece of aluminium stopper in. These are in line with the keyway for the most. They're out a little bit, so obviously there's some playing around to be done. So yeah, you can pin the lock to a key you've got, or you can make your own key. So it's a nice little touch there. So that all is getting sent to my mate because he says he needs more practice. And I don't know, when you're practicing, you got to buy locks. That gets expensive. So yeah, here is a good selection of there is already in here straight pins, straight driver pins. There's a selection of key pins. They all fit, and a lot of spool pins, because most of the locks we got here have got spool pins in. So you can progressively key it and or progressively pin it. Put 1, 2 in, learn the serrated pin, see how that feels. Put your straight pin in with a key pin, straight pin with a serrated pin, and off you go. And then here is a spare plug, so you can do what I did. I already made a key for this lock. I got 2 of these Varos that didn't have keys, so I actually made a key by popping some key pins in there and putting them in here, and then dropping the key pins in and filing down the key accordingly. So yeah, that takes some time. Maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. I haven't used it, I've just made it. You know, that is how I've made the only key I've ever made just with the eye. So there's that. So a spare plug, and of course that. And then what I found is with these Euros, the retaining clip is mild steel, and you can very seldom reuse them because then they get twisted like that and out of line, and it actually tightens the plug up, and then it's just a nightmare to. So there's a couple of extra circlips, just circlips off the shelf, did the job, and I use them all the time. And then of course a little push rod, just to, should you need to. It's quite clear, so it's, I've not actually needed to just prod the pins down with this, but there it is. And of course your Allen key for that. So there's a little bottle with extra grub screws, extra springs, and then a bottle for driver pins and a bottle of key pins. So yeah, how to make a pinning tray and practice lock when you're on a budget. I mean, no one's got 700 Rand to buy a fucking rubber pinning tray. You can make it yourself out of it, a bit of wood, and that's it. Really low cost tools, job done. Thanks for watching.